What's up guys, my name's Brandon and today Apple released iOS 15 Beta 2 to registered developers a little over 2 weeks after the release of the first beta. So in addition to this iOS release, we also got iPadOS 15 Beta 2, watchOS 8 Beta 2, and tvOS 15 Beta 2. So we did not get macOS Monterey Beta 2 today, but that should be out pretty soon. But of course, in this video, we're talking all about iOS and iPadOS and what is new. So let's start off with the size of this update. And you can see here, the size came in at around 1.5 gigabytes on most of my devices. So this is on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but the size was around 1.5 gigabytes on most devices that I installed it on. So if we go ahead over to our settings to check out the build number, let's go to General, About, 15.0. You can see the build here is 19A5281H. So we do have an H at the end of the build there, which means of course we still do have several betas to go. And if we go down a little bit to the modem firmware down here, you can see the modem has also been updated with this update. So that should improve anything related to the modem. So cell connectivity, if you had issues switching from 5G to LTE like me, that could be resolved in this update thanks to that modem firmware update. But I will let you guys know, of course, in my follow-up video after I've used this for quite a while. But anyways, now let's talk about what's new here in Beta 2, because there are quite a few changes in this update. So the first thing I noticed after updating is the new Maps icon. So you can see there the app icon for Maps has changed, and we saw this at the Worldwide Developers Conference on stage. You can see that is the old icon over here on the left, new icon on the right. Throughout the video, I will have iOS 15 Beta 1 on the left and Beta 2 here on my right to show the differences. So we do have that new little Maps icon right there. There's also a slight change inside the Maps application if we go in there real quick. When you go to select the type of map you want to view, if you tap that right there, you can see there is a slight difference in the map little images it shows down here. For Explore, Driving, Transit, and Satellite, you can see just slightly different images down here. These little thumbnail images are slightly different here in Beta 2. Now another big change in Beta 2 is the fact that SharePlay is now enabled inside of FaceTime. So this is the big feature that Apple spent quite a bit of time talking about at the Worldwide Developers Conference. And this is going to essentially allow you to have watch parties. You can watch TVs or movies with other people in FaceTime, and same with music. So you can like listen to albums together. So you can see right when you go into music, you get this new pop-up that says SharePlay Music, or you just go ahead and just start playing it right away, and everybody inside the call will be able to listen along with you. And you can see up top, we have this little icon right here, and that is for SharePlay. And you can see it even says SharePlay automatically, ask next time, or share my screen. So you can see for SharePlay automatically, if I just go ahead and tap on that, it shows this new little pop-ups up top, and now everybody in the call is able to, listen to the song at the same time. And also I noticed the volume stays the same no matter how you change the slider right here, which is pretty interesting. And if we go into the TV application, you can see up top it shows if you want to SharePlay and TV. So I just go ahead and start playing like a random show right here. You can see we get this new pop-up as well. It says SharePlay. SharePlay lets you experience content with other people on FaceTime. TV may be able to determine who uses SharePlay together in the app. So you can see you could do play only for me or SharePlay. So you didn't get that in music, but you do get that here inside of the TV application. And on the other screen, you can see you get this new pop-up right here that says TV, and it shows TV, Apple TV required. If you go and tap on view, it shows, I guess I need to have that installed. I don't even have it installed. I guess I did, so I don't know why it showed that. So still a little bit buggy, but you will be able to watch this along with others right there. So it's not working for TV. It doesn't look like at the moment, at least just not on this FaceTime call, but it was working with music earlier. So there are still some kinks to work out, but I'm sure that will be fixed and working properly in the future. So you can see you could also end for everyone or end just for me. So these are new options. I just now saw that for the first time. We'll end for everybody right there and go back into the FaceTime call. And I'll show you guys how to share screen as well, because that is also new here. So this was grayed out, this little section right here where it says share my screen. That was grayed out in Beta 1, but now in Beta 2, it's available. And you can see you get a little countdown there when it goes to share your screen. And you'll be able to see it shares your screen and your face at the same time. So let me go ahead back to this phone. And this is what you see on the other person's screen. So you can see my screen is showing right there. And I can also tap this. If I double tap like that, it makes it bigger. You can kind of move this around as well. I believe you can make it full screen as well. So if we double tap, you can make the screen bigger like that on the FaceTime call. You can actually tap on BB's screen right here, my screen right there. There we go. And make it full screen so you can see that's what it looks like. Then you can make this smaller or just completely go away. And you can see the screen right here on the FaceTime call. So really, really cool. A lot of options with the SharePlay feature when you share your screen here in FaceTime as well. And I will make a full video on this showing kind of more about this as well and how to set it up and how to get it running properly as well. But SharePlay is enabled here in beta 2, and I can tell this is going to be a hit for Apple. And we also have a SharePlay section here inside of the FaceTime settings. And if you go into that, you can see that it shows just a kill switch for SharePlay and also where to SharePlay automatically. So I have it set to automatically SharePlay for music and for TV. So that is really cool. That is there inside of your settings. And Apple also fixed some of the major bugs with FaceTime here in beta 2 as well. I know one of the most popular bugs in beta 1 was if you had a contact with an emoji in the name, it would pretty much just wreck FaceTime. It would just not work properly at all. You couldn't hang up. You couldn't do a lot of things inside the FaceTime call. That has been fixed in beta 2. And now you can have emojis in the contact's name and have it work properly. So it's not perfect still, just FaceTime overall, but at least that bug has been addressed here in beta 2. Now, another new change here is actually with Memojis. So if we go into our Memojis here, so I'm just gonna go to like my Memoji stickers right here, tap on these 3 dots, go to edit, and you can see we now have clothing here in beta 2. So this is pretty cool. So you can put like some outfits on your Memoji character. So like if I select this right here, you can kind of see what I'm rocking right there. So this is pretty cool. Apple just continues to expand on these Memoji characters and just add a lot to it. So really cool that you can have like some new outfits for your Memoji characters. Also new in beta 2, I noticed that the announce notifications prompt when I got a text message actually asked me to repeat the text message over again in case I missed it. It asked me if I wanted to call back. It just gave me a new prompt that I had not heard before. So it was about 5 seconds after it read off the message. It prompted me by saying, you know, I could ask Siri to reply or to replay the message or to call the person back. So that's pretty neat. And I did not notice that at all in beta 1. We also have some changes to the Safari application here in beta 2. So in beta 1, Safari was pretty much a nightmare. I mean, it was very unstable, it was very buggy, had a lot of issues, and beta 2 addresses quite a few of those. So number 1, it is more stable overall. It's not as buggy. I haven't had it crash once. The address bar doesn't go away as quickly when you're trying to type into it. I had issues with that in beta 1. Overall, it just seems more stable. It's still not perfect, but it is more stable here in beta 2. Also, when we tap on these 3 icons right here, you'll notice that we have a new section there for add to quick note. So that is new, and when you tap on it, just nothing happens. So I'm not sure if that means we're getting quick note, the feature in iPadOS 15 on the iPhone. I'm not sure if that's kind of an indication of that coming in the future, but as of now, it just doesn't do anything unless I just haven't configured it right here in the iPhone. But I did notice that as a new change. Also, I noticed that the animation when we go, if you watch the bottom bar really closely, you'll see on the right how we don't have the animation quite as big as we did in beta 1. So you can see the address bar just doesn't get quite as big, quite as tall as it did in beta 1 for whatever reason. So it seems like the animation is just gone, or there's just a slight difference there in how it acts in beta 2. Also in our Safari settings, if we go down a little bit, you will see that we have a new feature down here at the bottom that says show color in tab bar. So that is new. That is a new toggle option here at the bottom of the Safari settings, and you can turn that on or off. Also, if we go into the queue inside of the music application and haptic press on a song that's like way down here, you can see that we have a new option to move to top. So that is new here in beta 2 and something that's very useful, especially for somebody like me who uses the queue a lot. So that was not present in any previous iOS release. So I'm glad that that has come here inside of the music application. We also get a change to the weather widget. So if we go to the big weather widget right here, you can see it shows up different on the home screen. So it shows the temperatures a little bit different. I like it better here in beta 2. So if we add this to our home screen, you can see the difference in beta 1 and beta 2 there. So kind of just more, it lines up more with the actual weather application now versus kind of the old style that it was in beta 1. And speaking of weather, we also got a new weather splash screen here in beta 2. So it shows weather maps, notifications, and new designs. So that's what people will see, users will see when iOS 15 rolls out to the public, just to tell them what's new and the update. We also got a new splash screen inside of Notes that shows organized with tags, mentions and shared notes, and the activity view. So those are the two new splash screens here in beta 2. And if we go back into our settings and go to notifications and then to the scheduled summary, you can already see quite a difference there on this initial screen right here. Also, if we go to apps and summary, you can see it now shows us how many notifications we've gotten from that app on the daily. So our daily notification average right there, it shows it instead of just showing basically nothing but a kill switch in beta 1. So I like that. We also have the A to Z right here as well. So you can, organize these by alphabetical order. So that is nice to have there. Also, if we go back and then go to, we'll just say alarm.com, you will see that the critical alerts now has a little red little icon there, exclamation point next to it, and it's moved down a little bit compared to where it was in beta 1 all the way up at the top with nothing there. It also says always deliver immediately right above it. So that is new. And if we go back to the settings and then go to focus, we also have some changes inside of focus here as well. So if we just go into, let's just go to shooting a TikTok right there, which by the way, if you guys are not following me on TikTok, I am active on TikTok now. So that link is down in the description below. But first off, you could see a few changes. So allowed notifications and now shows none allowed right there instead of just showing nothing. And then also if we go down a little bit to the smart activation, you can see there is a slight change in the glyph icon. And then also it says turn on at opportune times. I did not say that before. And if we go into smart activation, you can see that the text is more clean underneath of the kill switch right there. Whereas before it just had this weird gray box around it and it looked kind of bugged out and out of place. So that's changed. Also, if we go to lock screen right here, you can see there is a slight change right there. So before it just said home screen and options, but now it says lock screen, and you can see there's a change right here as well. Just shows dim lock screen and show on lock screen, whereas before it showed dim lock screen, delayed delivery, and hide notification badges. And also now while we have the focus mode enabled, if we haptic press on the icon right there, you can see that was the animation in beta 1, but now watch in beta 2. So it's a different animation, and also we don't have this big clunky thing up top. We now have this little plus at the bottom that says new focus. So it's a lot cleaner. The animation is clean. I'll show you guys once again side by side. You can see the animation is cleaner, and also we didn't have the little new focus down at the bottom. It was just kind of up top right here in this big clunky area. So that is also new here in beta 2. Also inside of the shortcuts application, we have a new function here called receive what's on screen. So I haven't messed around with this too much, but in my follow-up video, I will mess around with this and let you guys know what all you can do with this new function here inside of shortcuts in beta 2. Also inside of photos, if we go to the memory section right here and we tap the little 3 dots in the top right, you can see that we have manage photos now in beta 2. So in beta 1, you could only change the title, make key photo, but you could not manage the photos from that specific menu right there. You had to do it down here in the bottom right, and you didn't have that option. So that is just a small little change here in beta 2. Now, for whatever reason, we still cannot share these memories in beta 2. I thought that would be fixed. I thought Apple mentioned that in the release notes, but we still cannot share these memories for whatever reason. Also, if we go into our settings and then into iCloud, you can see that the private relay and hide my email sections are no longer separated. They're actually in line now with all the other settings right here. And then if we go into private relay, you'll notice we have a change here as well, just in the verbiage. So it is a little bit hanging there. It hangs a little bit right there. But if we go to IP address location, you will see that it used to say preserve approximate location. Now it says maintain general location. And then it used to say use broader location, and now use country and time zone. So just a little bit of verbiage changes here in beta 2 inside of the private relay section. And also private relay should be better here in beta 2. Apple did mention it in the release notes. It was also something that was really annoying in beta 1. It would just randomly disconnect and just cause major issues really overall. So hopefully it in fact has been fixed and is working properly here in beta 2. And then also another small thing I noticed in beta 2 is that we can now set our phone brightness again via Siri. So for whatever reason, we couldn't do that in beta 1. So like for instance, if I said set phone brightness to 40%, you can see Siri would just say that it can't do it. But now set phone brightness to 40%. You can see that Siri can change that. So that was something you were able to do in iOS 14, but for whatever reason in beta 1 it was a bug and you couldn't do it, but that has been addressed and you can now do it again here in beta 2. Now as far as iPadOS 15 beta 2 goes, we do also have a few changes. So of course all the changes that were in iOS 15 beta 2 apply, but also one of the big changes here in iPadOS 15 beta 2 is that we can now do a quick note with our finger from the bottom right. So we knew that this was coming, but in beta 1, you could only do it with an Apple Pencil. But now you can bring up the quick note feature with your finger from the bottom right. And then also inside of Safari here in beta 2, you're able to see a refresh button in the toolbar if you have a mouse or a magic keyboard. So if you're just using your finger, you will not see it. You actually have to hover over the address bar with a cursor to see a new refresh button there inside of the address bar. Now, as far as bug fixes go, Apple has addressed a lot of bugs here in beta 2. So they have posted the release notes publicly, so you can see these. I will leave these linked down in the description below, but there are a lot of resolved issues in this update. So Apple does outline some of the remaining bugs, but it's also showing a lot of the issues that have been fixed. So we have 2 of the worst Safari bugs fixed. We have the iCloud relay fixed, so it functions as expected now. We have all the FaceTime bugs that have been addressed. We have a few home screen issues that have been fixed as well. And my personal biggest bug that I had in beta 1 was the control center lag. So every time I pulled the control center down, when I was in an application, when I was on the home screen, the control center came down just fine. But when I was inside of an application, it would lag. It would just hang. So I can pull this over here and just show you live right now. If I just go into Safari and then try to pull down the notification center, of course it doesn't work that time, but go into like a Twitter right here and then try to pull down the control center. You can see when I try to pull down the control center, it just lags and sometimes it just doesn't come up. It doesn't happen every time, but I did notice it quite frequently on beta 1. And I know a lot of you guys had that issue as well, but thankfully the control center bug has been fixed here in beta 2. Also, Apple fixed sharing to messages via Quick Note, so it now correctly presents a visible send button when you are sharing via that. Also, the release notes just show a ton of issues that have been fixed in here, like for focus, for the foundation, guided access, health, so many resolved issues. And again, it would take forever to go over all these, so I'll just let you guys read through those if you want to. And of course, in my follow-up video on Saturday, I will run through some of the more notable bug fixes that I've actually noticed in my day-to-day usage, some that you'll actually care about and actually notice yourselves as well. But as far as remaining bugs go, one bug that I did notice right away, or maybe not right away, but I did notice pretty quickly, is if we go into Safari here and then go to plus, and we go down to edit right here, and I go to the background image, you can see that that is cut off. We cannot actually scroll and see all of the images there, but I noticed that when you disable it and re-enable it, they appear. So that's just a minor bug I noticed so far here in beta 2, but everything else seems to be the same as beta 1 in terms of bugs. That's the only real new bug I've seen here in beta 2 because that wasn't there in beta 1. But I have been having issues with like the volume rising when going in and out of applications like YouTube or music. Sometimes the volume would just be really erratic and just rise out of nowhere, just go down in volume out of nowhere, especially over Bluetooth. I've also had issues with Wi-Fi just randomly disconnecting or just randomly connecting to LTE or 5G instead of Wi-Fi. So I had that issue. Of course, I had the issue where I cannot share a memory inside the Photos application, which I talked about earlier. And then also one of my biggest ones is that the notification sounds were off for certain applications. Like for example, Snapchat and ESPN both have their own notification sound, but in beta 1, it just had the default notification sound, and I didn't hear the, custom sound that is made for like Snapchat and ESPN. So I have not been able to tell if that's fixed here in beta 2, but I would assume that it has been. And again, I will touch on that in my follow-up video on Saturday. Now, as far as performance goes here in beta 2, I will say right away that it does feel better than beta 1. I mean, it is definitely noticeable, especially like I mentioned earlier, inside of Safari, inside of FaceTime, inside of messages, the control center, just multiple things just going around the OS for a couple of hours now, just definitely feels smoother and faster overall than beta 1, which is expected for a second beta. Now, if we go into the Geekbench scores here, I will run a quick test. Of course, this doesn't tell the full story, but I do just want to go ahead and run a test just to see what kind of scores we are working with here. But just day-to-day usage, I have been able to tell a difference right away. And of course, as time goes on, I will be able to give you guys more details as to just how much better it is overall. All right, so you can see here we got a 1586 on the single core and a 4117 on the multi-core. So decent scores, nothing too special. You can see we got a 1597 and a 4126 on the day that beta 1 came out. So a slight difference there. So if we compare these real quick, 1597 versus 1586. 4117 versus 4126, so slightly lower in terms of scores compared to beta 1, but of course there are a lot of variables involved with that, and of course it's not really indicative of day-to-day actual usage. I just know you guys like seeing those scores, and I like keeping track of them here on the channel. Now, as far as battery life goes, of course, as usual, it's too early to tell with battery life yet, but I would assume with the amount of bug fixes in this update and just app crashes, all kinds of things that are fixed in this update, that would have a positive impact on the battery life. So I would expect battery life to be better here in beta 2, and really it can't get much worse than it was in beta 1. I mean, it was pretty bad across the board for every device, especially the older the device, just the worse it got, which is kind of typical, but still, even on my 12 Pro, which is my daily device, battery life was just not great. So I would expect it to be better here in beta 2, and I will report back to you guys in my follow-up update video on Saturdays, just kind of an update on how the battery life has been performing. So now what is next for Apple? So today is June 24th, so it's a Thursday. I don't think anybody predicted beta 2 to be coming on a Thursday. It's just very unusual for Apple. I guess they just weren't ready earlier in the week, but nonetheless, we are still on a 2-week cycle, it appears. So that means that we should be seeing the third developer beta on the week of the 5th. So the 5th is a US holiday. That is when we observe Independence Day. So my guess is that Apple will not release anything on the 5th, but the 6th is a likelihood of seeing the third beta. But of course, Apple could stick to Thursdays now since we did get beta 2 on a Thursday. It's hard to tell. And we could also see the public beta that same week. So there's two different ways this could go. So we could either see the public beta next week on July 1st, because Apple did say that the public beta is coming in July. They didn't say when in July, so it could very well be July 1st right there next Thursday. So I could see that happening for the first public beta, or we could see developer beta 3 on like the 6th or the 7th, and then see the public beta on maybe the 8th or even the 9th. So either one of those two are the possibilities, but of course Apple is very unpredictable. It's really hard to predict what Apple's going to do. I mean, they released this beta on a Thursday late in the day, later than usual, and on a day they don't usually push out, big beta releases like this. So we'll have to wait and see. I would also expect to see something with iOS 14.7 next week as well, either a 4th beta or the RC build. So next week should definitely be, kind of give us some idea as to what to expect with the next iOS 15 beta, and also when we can expect the final release of 14.7. But anyways, guys, there you have it. That is iOS 15 beta 2. I will be having my follow-up video coming on Saturday, and we'll talk more about more new features in beta 2, because I'm sure there are even more that I did not cover yet. And I'll talk about the battery life performance, all that good stuff. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. And of course, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that follow-up video and all of my future iOS 15 content, which I have a lot planned. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.